help change the world one leader at a time. I had some people this week send me some incredibly nice messages. I had an owner that runs a business in Minnesota who sent me this really nice email about how some people on her team are continuously watching the channel and watching these videos we make, and how it's made an absolute difference in their life and in their career. So I'm incredibly grateful we can have an impact on people. Our goal is to continue to do that and provide value and to provide knowledge, and really help you guys level up. So I'll tell you. So a couple of things. I'm going to start the call today a little different than last. So we got some new things going on in the world of the Clear channel. So if you guys you can see this, obviously people are in the office here. We got some new digs here. We got a new office space. The staff is out there in the big training room we got. We got 7 offices. It's on the corner unit of an office building. I'm really pumped. We decided to move out of the warehouse space that we were in. It was kind of like a mullet, the old office. It was business in the front and party in the back, is the way I would describe it. And I know there's a few people on our staff that are a little disappointed I didn't bring the big heating fan that was in our training room, and that it every once in a while when it got frigidly cold like it does here in Michigan, it would turn on and we'd have to run over to it real fast and turn it off because you couldn't hear shit if you were talking when the fan was on. So I'm glad to be in a new office space. It seems like a new vibe. Some of you guys down there in the world of retail, obviously in Carolinas. I can't go over all the details, but we're taking on a new retailer tomorrow. You'll be hearing about it in the next few days, but we're launching some pretty awesome stuff in the EDM business, this weekend across the country. And so I'll tell you, so a little bit of perspective, right? So I just got a chance to go to Qatar. I spent a week in Qatar watching some soccer games. It was the first time I think in, I don't know, ever in my life, I wasn't with my family over Thanksgiving. My brother and some peers and partners in the business, we jumped on a flight, met in Philadelphia. We flew out to Qatar in a direct flight, 13 hours to get there. When we got there, it was middle of the morning. So we were kind of all messed up in our heads because we didn't really know what time it was. And then we got a chance to, I'm sorry, it was in the afternoon. We got back here, it was in the morning. And I'll tell you, it was very interesting, Qatar. So just to tell you guys a little bit about Doha, where the World Cup was being held. First of all, they spent $220 billion on the city, upgrading the city. So everything from skyscrapers to the metro rail to the roads. They had like 8-lane highways that weren't there. Everything they did with their infrastructure was better. And I'll tell you, every once in a while we took some Ubers to different places in town. And I would ask, the Uber driver, hey, where are you from? And, one time there was a guy from Bangladesh. Another time there was somebody from India. Another time there was someone from Qatar. It was kind of weird that we had somebody that was actually from there driving us around. And it was pretty crazy because, the every time I asked them where they're from, I'd ask them, how big is your family? And do you have anybody back home? And majority of the people that were our Uber drivers had family where they're from. They would then open their phone or they would then go to a little picture book they had in their car and tell us about their kids and tell us about, what their age and their name and everything else. And then I'd ask them, do you like soccer? Do you like football? And who's your team? Who do you think's going to win? And then I'd build a relationship with them. But it was very interesting because every single one of them, I asked them at the end, I'm like, why are you in Qatar? Why are you here? Your family's in another part of the world. You have a son that's 7 years old. Why are you here? When's the last time you saw your family? One guy hadn't seen his family for over a year and a half. And every single one of them said to me, I have to. I will do anything for my family. I will do anything for my kids. I make more money because I work and live in Qatar than I would back home. And I started thinking to myself all the sacrifices that my mom made when she was young in the business and in the business world. She was in her early 20s. She came to the US with a couple $100 in her pocket to come to America for the quote unquote American dream. She ended up meeting my father in New York City in an engineering company. And then, obviously, I guess they say the rest is history. And I think about the sacrifices that people have to make to accomplish things. And I don't think and listen, maybe I'm a little bit naive or something, but I don't think we have to do that much. Last time I checked, and maybe there are some people that have to do these things, and I commend you if you're one of them. But I don't have to live away in a foreign country, not see my kids grow up to take care of my family. Yeah, I may, like this weekend, I'm going to be out in the stores. And I had to tell my boys that I'm not going to be at their soccer games tomorrow because the business that we're going to start building on top of the business we already have could be a $200 million business. So I just don't think that it's that hard. I don't think it's that hard to get up on time. I don't think it's that hard to learn your pitch, meet with people for coffee 15 minutes before work to learn, how to get good at this thing or whatever business you're in. For anyone that's outside of our business that watches this stuff, I just don't think it's that hard. So, but I will tell you that if you go into your day and you go into your life with the right level of gratitude and the right amount of appreciation for what you have and what you're working towards, I think you tend to get a lot more out of life. So that's my first thing is listen, there's studies that have been done recently when it comes to opportunity. And there's three things that a lot of people look for in opportunities. Number one is obviously income. And that was a big reason why a lot of these Uber drivers and different people, and we went to this one restaurant, it was kind of crazy, it's right on the beach. And the guy was from Argentina, which is ironic because I know a buddy of mine from Argentina in the office, and there's a big game today. But he lived he was from Argentina, he was in mid-20s, and he was from Ibiza. And he was in Qatar. And we asked him, like, hey, what are you doing in Qatar? He's like, I came here for 4 weeks. The company I work for gave me a chance to come and serve and obviously work in the restaurant. I'll make a little bit more money here, but I live in Ibiza and I just wanted to make some more money for a month. So they brought in a ton of people, and this is what Qatar did. This is what the government did. They brought in a ton of extra people to help support the tournament. So money is one reason why people do what they do and choose what they do. The second reason is growth. How much growth are they having when they join an organization? And so this, for anyone in our business that is interested in growing and developing people around you, you have to get good at growing yourself before you can expect anyone else to follow your lead. If you want to have somebody that cares about their future, that cares about, learning new things, that wants to learn certain aspects of their day-to-day, well, you actually have to do it first yourself. It's amazing how like-minded people are attracted to like-minded people. So second thing I would think about is, am I personally taking time to grow myself? And I'm not saying it could be if you're new into this position, you're new into organization. Okay. It could be just the effort you're putting into learning what you have to learn. It could be that for sure. But besides that, it's like, what else are you doing to grow yourself? What else are you doing to level yourself up? Trust me when I tell you, the world is competitive. Business is very, very competitive. And the way that you can gain an edge, the way I've personally gained an edge from my 20s into my 30s and now into my 40s, was I've taken a ton of time to learn and to read, to be on, to do things like this and listen to YouTube channels, podcasts, all these. I'm constantly trying to fill my mind with information to help me grow. And the third reason why people want to be a part of a team or part of an organization is recognition. Recognition. So if you're a leader and you have people on your team, don't wait for your manager to recognize people on your team. We have campaign meetings, we have morning meetings and things. And I can't speak for other managers on the call in different markets, but I can speak for, in our office and in most businesses. We don't see everything. So let us know, hey, so-and-so is putting in the effort. So-and-so came in early today. So-and-so is their pitch is getting down. They're studying their material. They stayed a little bit later than they should. They're trying really hard to get good at this. And then turn around and recognize them in front of the team. Fill them up. Fill up their confidence, right? Because 99% of anything is confidence. So I would say that when it comes to the last week or two. And I'll tell you another cool experience I had yesterday, Wednesday. I got invited to a local community college here in Michigan, Washtenaw, for you guys that know Michigan and know this, the city. Good friend of mine, actually a husband, wife, a friend of mine, Elizabetta, who actually watches our channel all the time. So thank you, Elizabetta, for that. But so she invited me. She's a teacher. She's a professor of a marketing class at the college around the corner. And the students are all created businesses, and they created businesses over the course of the semester. And at the end of the semester, they had to pitch their business to sharks like they do on the Shark Tank. And she invited me, and her husband happens to be an entrepreneur in a staffing agency, and then another guy that owned a bank in Ann Arbor, which was actually used to be the dean of Washtenaw Community College, but brought us all in. And unfortunately, my wife is under the weather a little bit, so she was actually going to be a shark as well. But it was really neat to see people in their 20s and early 20s, and really just kind of finishing their schooling. Most of them were seniors, but it was really neat to see how much effort they put into researching business. So they all had to create a food truck and come up with an idea of where, how, the type of food, etc. And then they had to essentially, through their research, through understanding the industry and then the market and everything else, and applying the 4 Ps of marketing, they had to pitch it to us. And then we had questions for them, and we really challenged them. And we had to pick a winner, which was kind of the hardest part, because one of the young ladies was so sweet. She actually brought us food, right? Like they do in Shark Tank. They like bring you food and give you a taste test and everything else. It was really neat. And I'll tell you the very interesting thing about that whole experience with the students was afterwards we asked them, what did they learn and what are their big takeaways? And our feedback, and a lot of my feedback, was just positive. I just wanted to build their confidence. I wanted them to go into the workforce with a lot of confidence and feel good about their project, the effort they put in. But most of them, I kind of pointed out the things that they did well. And a lot of them did little things really, really well. They, one person actually had the food that they made. They had their logo on the container that they gave it to us. They had another girl she actually went on Instagram and built her Instagram account for her business and actually started getting followers. Another person that had a hamburger, Harris's hamburger mobile, actually went in and designed his hamburger mobile, which was kind of reminding for you guys a little bit older, maybe remember the Wiener mobile back in the day. That was a thing. But the Oscar Mayer Wiener, to be exact. Get your mind out of the gutter. But it was really, really neat. And I'll tell you, what I walked away with from that experience is I just thought to myself, all of these students want to be entrepreneurs, every single one of them. And that's what we do for people that have interest of entrepreneurship. People have interest of really leading on a national level and on a big scale. I've been coaching and I've helped 30 some people become entrepreneurs, run businesses. and do well. I coach another 70 people that run companies right now, besides running my own business. And it's very interesting because I think about ideas. I think about, besides what we do, right? I think about other things that other businesses do. And so often people try to get ideas off the ground, and they try to get these concepts moving. And sometimes they even miss out on what's right in front of them. Right. So there's people that come to me and start in our business that have been entrepreneurs before. And, for whatever reason, their businesses haven't done very well, or they'd actually be doing it full time instead of working for me. And, and then they get distracted a little bit. Instead of like learning the skills and focusing on one thing and getting really good at that one thing. And then as people get bigger, stronger, and have finances, okay, cool, dabble in other things if you want to. But I can tell you this, that that whole experience at that college was just really neat, and it's cool to see. I actually had a couple of the students come up to me afterwards and ask for jobs, which was kind of funny. So we'll see if they come in. And the second thing I want to talk about is the power of your community. The power of your community. So the community, they're saying now, any of the calls that I'm on with people outside of the industry that I'm in, is they're saying that your network is going to really drive how successful you are. It's the new currency, is what they're saying. And so when you think of currency, I was in Qatar, and obviously there's the Qatari. It was 3 Qataris to $1, right? So things that were 150 Qataris were like $50. So it's kind of funny how we like doing the math when we're buying stuff. But the new currency is network. And again, for you guys that watch the channel, you know that your network is your net worth. So if you think to yourself how successful you want to be, you think about the people you surround yourself with, and you should ask yourself: do these people actually help me level up my life? Do they help me grow? Do they help position my mind in a different place? Do they challenge me? Or are they still doing the same old shit they've always done? There's an old saying that if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. You got to get around people that challenge you. You got to get around people that push you out of your comfort zones. You got to get around people that think bigger, that are doing things, that are thinking crazy. Some people, they say the margin of craziness and brilliance is like a small margin. Right? If people said to me 20 years ago, hey, door-to-door sales, that's what I grew up in business doing. Yeah, that door-to-door sales is going to get you into the biggest retailers in the world at some point. People would think I was crazy. People think, what is he doing? Like, right, sure. My college roommate said I was stupid. This idea would never work. I didn't see any of them at the World Cup. I'm not picking on them, love them, but they were watching the games from home when I was over there. Right? They all played soccer. I think maybe one of my roommates, he's actually really involved with soccer. He may be actually going out. But most of them, love them, but that I didn't see them there. Right? So it's interesting. Is it crazy or is it brilliant? But who is in your community? Is your community filled with champions? Is your community filled with go-getters? Is your community filled with the best of the best at what they do? This morning again, so for some of you guys that know me, I go to the gym in the mornings, and I ran into my buddy Sean. He's reffing the Arizona game this weekend. If you guys are in the NFL, you like football, he's the head referee. He's the guy who calls all the plays. He reffed the what game did he tell me he was at this past weekend? I forget off the top of my head. I think maybe Tampa. I'm not sure. But yeah, he refs the Arizona game, and I saw him this morning. And he's like, "Hey Ken, what's up, man?" He goes, "Man, I wouldn't want to be a soccer ref." He's like, "That World Cup is intense," which is kind of funny. But and I think to myself, like, and some of the other guys that I talked to as I'm at the gym. There's another guy this morning. "Hey Ken, what's up, man?" And he's like, "Good." And he's like, "What are the holidays looking like?" I'm like, "I got a pretty big project starting tomorrow. I'm going to be pretty busy. I'll be working a lot." He goes, "Oh, good for you." And I told him a little about it. And I said, "What are you up to?" He goes, "Oh, my son's coming in for the holidays. He's from Denver. We're going to spend a week up north and do some skiing. And we're going to Vail in January, spending the month out in Vail." And then, I may get back to work in February or so. He's an entrepreneur. He's done really, really well. He's multiple rental properties now. He's got a big business. And that's the circle of people I want to be around. I want to be around people that are doing things, that have success, that know what they're doing, not people that are dragging me down, not people that are questioning why I'm working so hard, questioning why I want to accomplish and have a great life. Now, I'll tell you, I would say this, and I'll leave you guys with this because it's 10:24. There's a saying that I've adopted when it comes to being successful. And the saying goes, if it is to be, it is up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. And so what I like to do is I like to take total responsibility for my success. And if I struggle, I trip, I fall, I'm not perfect. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna knock myself down. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I make mistakes. I'm human. But I believe if there's anything that can be done, I can do it. I don't care where you're from. I don't care how you're brought up. And listen, I would even challenge, like if I got into the field with some football players, I got into the basketball court, some basketball players, I would go into it with the same attitude. And to be fair, they would run circles around me and they would dunk on me. They'd make me look stupid, but I would still take a charge. I would. I'd probably hurt my back and my neck by hitting the ground so hard and somebody dunking over me. But I'm not getting out of the way. I'm going to play. If it is to be, it's up to me. And I just encourage you guys that the next 3 days, the next 7 days, I encourage you guys to go into your day with that confidence, with that attitude, that healthy attitude. And if you do, I believe you're going to grow. You're going to make progress. And remember, when you're driving, I see some people driving to stores and doing their thing. You don't drive all the time. When you drive, you constantly are looking in the windshield, right? You're looking forward. If you look in the mirror too much, you're going to run into things, right? If you're driving, look in your mirror, you're going to hit people in front of you. Stop looking in the mirror so much. Stop looking down so much. Yeah, you look down every so often to see how fast you're moving. That's the only reason you should look down, to notice how far you've come. Stop looking in the mirror, worrying about what you did in your past, worrying about the mistakes. Look in the windshield. Look about where you're going. The bigger picture you have in your mind, the more focus you on where you're going, the faster you'll get there. You'll relieve the energy and the pressure of the things you did before. Trust me, you guys didn't see me in my early 20s when I was a bit of an idiot. I made a ton of silly choices. I made a ton of mistakes. That's a part of life. That's a part of learning. But keep looking forward. That's the only way you're going to accomplish what you want to accomplish, is if you look into the windshield and you stop looking in the mirror. So have an amazing Friday. Thanks for jumping on today. Please share our Clear channel with friends, family, anyone. Just so you know, just to give you guys some statistics, we had over 10,000 views in the month of November. I did a update call with my team behind the scenes that does all this for me. We had something like 50 times as much time watched or something on this channel than the month prior. I mean, it's crazy. Literally, like, it's starting to go like this as far as people be involved. I've even had 2 or 3 candidates I interviewed this week that said, "You're Ken? Oh, I actually watch your stuff on TikTok and Instagram and stuff. I would love to work for you," which is mind blowing to me. And I'm just doing what I'm normally doing, and I'm doing my best to serve the world and give. And it's amazing how things are given back. So have an amazing day. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate you guys. Have an amazing weekend. Happy holidays. And remember, you got to be good if you want to have Santa Claus show up and be good to you. So let's have a great weekend. Thank you.